Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday, February the 22nd. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and there was a lot of movement in the markets this weekend, and we're actually going to go over a lot of those cards on this list here today, starting the list off with number 15, Ruby Medallion from Tempest, and this is up 40% today, seeing new all-time highs from 26.67 to 37.49, and it sees a lot of play in mono red commander decks, 36 copies in Berkey, God of Storytelling, and that is one of the reasons that it's going up here today. Next up on the list, we have Heart of Yavi Maya from Alliances. This is a reserve list card, up 42% today from $9 to $12.79, seeing new all-time highs. And it's a land that's on the reserve list, and there is decks that are playing it, but mostly in Commander. Siona and Mowu are two of those decks that are utilizing this card. And the next one we have on the list here is Scarwood Bandits from the Dark, and this is another reserve list card. This is up 43% today from $22.99 to $32.99, seeing new all-time highs. And there actually isn't any decks that are using this card, so it's mostly just based on scarce ability and collectability, and that being on the reserve list. We have Sorceress Queen from Arabian Nights. This is up 46% today from $400 to $589, and there is actually some decks playing this card, and they are all in Commander. And you actually, if you look at it, there is cheaper copies available, like from 4th edition. So if you're building a deck with this, maybe that's the better option than the cheap Arabian Nights version. Next up on the list here is Sea King's Blessing from Legends, and this is up 50% today from $29.95 to $45. And there's actually no other versions of this card available. It was only ever printed once, and that was in Legends, which is already a very scarce set, especially near mint copies of English versions. And the next card we have on the list here is Kookus from Visions. This is a reserve list card at 59% today from $2 to $3.19. And there actually is, you guessed it, no decks using this card. So it's more the fact that it's a reserve list card and it was fairly cheap, so people target it as a buyout. Next card on the list we have here today is Goblin Artisans from Antiquities, and this is up 61% today from $8.99 to $14.49. And there is one deck, I should say, a Berkey deck that is actually playing this card. But if you want to build that deck, maybe the better alternative is getting the cheap Chronicles one, which you can find for some 10 cents. Mountain Yeti from Legends, and this is up 69% today from $4.72 to $7.99. Now this is more a buyout because it's a Legends card. There's not a lot of copies out there on the market of this version of the card, so for that you're going to see a price increase here like that today. Shattered Angel from Commander Anthology. This is up 70% today from $179 to $305, and it actually does see a lot of play and a bunch of Angel builds in Commander. And Angel is one of the biggest tribes in the game and has a lot of love in Commander, and you're seeing this go up today. Draconian Cyclex from Fallen Empires. This is up 71% today from $186 to $319, and it's a reserve list card, but it's from Fallen Empires, so there was a bigger print run than most reserve list sets. However, the fact that it's on the reserve list and it was cheap, well, it saw a targeted buyout. Next card on the list here today is Energy Vortex from Mirage. This is another reserve list card. This is up 75% today from $4.99 to $8.75. There actually is a few decks playing it in Commander mostly, but the fact that it's also a reserve list card and it sees play, well, you're going to see an even more aggressive spike when there is a buyout. We have next card on the list here, Witch Hunter from the Dark. This is up 96% today from $15.99 to $31.48, seeing new all-time highs, surpassing its previous prices. And there's actually 3 decks that are using it, and one of those is a Chrominium deck. And that one you can build for $1,000. So obviously a pretty expensive card and a pretty expensive deck. Next card we have on the list is Juxtapose from Legends. This is up 103% today from $194.35 to $395. And there actually is 2 decks here that actually are using it in the format Commander, but there is a cheaper version available from Classic 6th Edition you can pick up for market price of around 26 cents. So the next card here on the list we have is Stang from Legends, and this is up 192% today from $10 to $29.20, seeing new all-time highs, surpassing its previous prices in 2018. There actually is a Commander deck that is utilizing it, but if you actually want to build that deck and not spend the price on the Legends card, you can do that by buying the Masters 25 card, which you can find from 6 cents to 25 cents because it's readily available. Relic Barrier from Legends, this is up 1,676% from 1688 to 299. And there actually is a lot of decks playing this, specifically in a format called Penny Dreadful. But if you want to get a cheaper copy of that card, there is a version from 5th Dawn. And obviously it's the same ability, so you just don't want to spend that heavy price tag on Legends, then that's probably the best alternative that you can find. Now I want to go over some reserve list cards that are under $1, and guess what? There's not many of them. So Mammoth Harness from Homelands, this is a market price of 90 cents to 103 in some situations. So here's the thing I wanted to talk about as these cards play out in the video. So I would, at least once or twice a week, I would go over reserve list cards that are specs or, targeted buys that I think would be great. And if you followed along, maybe you made some money with some of the Inquisitions that I gave you guys. But to be honest, I can't find a lot of cards anymore that are under $1. These cards that I'm playing along in this video, including Voldalian War Machine, are some of the only cards available for under $1 now. So every time that I go back and check on MTG Stocks or MTG Goldfish for price updates, it's smaller and smaller every day that I see cards that are under $1. Like this one, Rogue Sky Captain, this is one of the last cards under $1. It's 62 cents and 93 cents right now on the market, which is pretty shocking because the reserve list buyouts, I feel like it only started about a month ago. And I feel like by the end of this week, all of the cards that are in this video right now that I'm going through, like Rogue Sky Captain, and this card right here as well, Cajolian, Phalanx, I probably butchered that name, but all of these cards are actually going to probably be above $1 by my estimation. And so what I will say is these buyouts aren't going away, and until Wizards of the Coast figures out a way to fix their game and save formats like Modern, people are going to be putting their money into collectible cards, and they're not going to be putting their money into cards to play the game, because you can just do that on MTG Arena anyways. You can get proxies and just build any deck that you want. But when it comes to real collectible items, people are really targeting the reserve list cards, and that's not really a surprise to me, to be honest. So here we are going with the biggest loser of the day. And that card is Suleiman's Legacy from Visions. And this is a reserve list card, actually down 77% today from 189 to 42.90, seeing a nice little retrace in its price. And now my final thoughts on the market. Well, there's a lot of things to go over, and one of them was I was shocked at the fact that I couldn't find many cards for the end of the video to spec on that were under $1. Usually I will have an abundance and I'll just select a few. And today, looking at the chart on MTG Stocks, I had all but 5. That was it. Just 5 cards to go on. And apart from that, we are still seeing, the norm of the last month or so, which are reserve list buyouts. And if they're not reserve list, they're just old cards, from the Four Horsemen sets, like, Anthologies and Arabian Nights, those cards and Legends going up. And that's nothing new. This kind of seems like the new normal for Magic the Gathering collectibles in the market of 2021. Well, I don't know. What are your guys' comments? Please leave them down below, and I'll be sure to read them. And I do these videos Monday to Friday, so I will see you tomorrow for another Market Movers, and have a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you enjoyed it that much, maybe you'd like to tip me. I have a PayPal link that you can send me tips if you enjoy these videos, and I can keep bringing them to you that way, and it could help my cardboard crack addiction. So please think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.